How many of us love what we do? At the end of the day, can you look at the mirror and honestly say to yourself, I make a difference. I was born to do this. Do we even know what we want or what our purpose is? I think we owe it to ourselves to ask. After all, we just have one life, right? The last thing we want is to wake up at the age of 80 and all the untapped potential, talent, desires gnawing back, screaming and swearing at us for not giving them a chance. Regret is one of the toughest and most painful punishments. Give your potential, your talent, your desires a chance while you can. Well, I promise you that you will feel shit scared, but feel the fear and do it anyway. Some things will work and some not. But unless you give it a shot, you will never find out. Watch my next guest talk about his upbringing, his culture, and desire to be of service to his people that made him make a career changing decision. One that now makes him look at the mirror each morning and say, I love every moment of what I do. While he makes it sound so effortless, it takes an immense amount of courage and a huge leap of faith. I am very proud of you, Hester Kim. All the way from Manila, Philippines, please welcome my first Filipino guest, Hester Kim Aquino. If this is your first time tuning in to Candid with Candy, I'm your host, Candy, and I hope you enjoy the show. Hi, Kim. It's so nice to see you, and thank you so much for coming to my show today.
Hi, Candy. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here with you. And conversations with Candy is really, very much fun, uh,
Oh,
formative.
thanks.
It's energetic. I love your energy, Candy.
Mwah. Thank you so much. And by the way, you're my first guest from the Philippines. So,
Oh, lovely.
yeah. Salamat to everyone.
Oh, yeah. Still remember, right?
Yeah. So, why don't we let everybody know, what you're doing and where you are right now, and then we'll get started from there.
All right. So, yeah, so I'm Candy's friend. I'm Hester Kim Aquino. I'm currently a financial advisor with the insurance industry in the Philippines. Previously, I was an accountant.
Okay, wonderful. And we'll talk more in detail about, the switch and everything else. It'll be really interesting for the audience to know a little bit about your, background, where you're from, how you grew up.
Yes, I grew up in Baguio. Currently, I'm in Manila. So I was born in Baguio City. It's a city up north of the Philippines. It's actually called the summer capital of the Philippines because it's up there in the mountains. So the weather, climate is cooler. Life was laid back, chill. Uh, so that's where I also studied for my university degree. I took up accounting and then took the boards after. So yeah, I'm also a CPA in the Philippines. Funny thing is, I didn't really like aim to be an accountant. Okay. So when I entered college, the in course back then was nursing.
Ah,
So I went up to I for my first year I took up nursing. So there was a requirement to cut your hair, right? To like keep it prim and proper because you're doing healthcare and all that.
uh-huh.
So I decided to shift courses to accounting. I know it's kind of shallow. Then what happened there was when I transferred, there was a requirement to cut your hair.
Oh,
Yeah, so back to the short hair again.
that sucks. Didn't you know that
Yeah.
before you traveled?
No, it was a new requirement. Right?
I remember accepting my first job offer after college because weekends were off and they were giving us a cab, to pick us up and drop us home. I didn't care about what work I was going to do. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get a cab.
Yeah, you get your own cab. Oh, yeah, I'll also take that job.
So when you're young, you're like, these are things
Wonderful.
that are so important, I just wanted to ask you a little bit about, your roots, right? The indigenous peoples of the Philippines. And I'm going to try and pronounce the name of your tribe, Kankanaye tribe. Yeah, if you can just tell us a little bit about that.
Almost there. Yeah,
Almost.
yeah. So I'm yeah, almost there. It's actually Kan Kanai. Yeah. So I'm part of the indigenous peoples group of the Philippines. One of the indigenous peoples groups in the Philippines, which is the Igorot people. We are. What does that mean? Igorot mean. It was actually coined during this Spanish era. Some say it's termed. It meant or it means people from the mountains. Others say it comes from ignorance. But our people have integrated the word, so they own the word now.
I also know that the sense of community and really preserving your cultural heritage is very important. For the different peoples, the indigenous peoples, right? So I know that you guys also kind of take a few steps to do that. So can you let us know what is done to kind of keep that culture going for the future generations?
Well, people are actually protecting the culture. We have an international organization.
Hmm.
So a lot of Igorots actually meet every 2 years. They converge. It's kind of a reunion. They do it abroad, and then after 2 years, they bring it back home. One thing that they do there is they they kind of spread the culture further, especially for the younger generations. So they play the gongs. They use the traditional garments as I mentioned. I guess they tell stories and all that.
No,
I
no.
do wish to attend one of the conventions or the events in the future soon.
So I come from the Mizo tribe in India. The overall population is over a billion in the country, and we are maybe 1 million people overall,
Mm-hmm.
like, across the globe. So we are also a very small tribe, and
Mm-hmm.
your traditional garment that you're talking about is a combination of red, black,
Mm-hmm.
and white. The women wear.
Yeah,
So we also our traditional costume is red, black, and
mm-hmm.
white for the women. And
Yeah.
it's really
You know
pretty.
that's the interesting part with indigenous peoples. Like there are really a lot of like interconnected commonalities, right? Like garments, music, like gongs and all those things. So it's a really wonderful subject on its own.
Yeah, and somehow all of us, like as you rightly say, there's some commonality and there's some kind of connectivity even when we meet. You know, we just have this underlying camaraderie,
True.
which is you
Yeah,
can't really explain.
there's a sense of community, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's also one thing I love about our culture, especially for the indigenous ones. Because like you want to like really um be there for the community, be there for everyone else. So that's also one of the culture shock for me when I came to Manila, right? Because you don't know anyone else,
Yeah.
and when you're there in your hometown, like everyone knows everyone. So like everyone keeps tabs on everyone. Like how are they doing? How are their health? Do they have food on their table? Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
And I'll just add in a joke there. I love how we interfere in each other's lives. I know that you also tried your hand at entrepreneurship a little bit. Um,
Mhm.
so why don't you tell us about that story?
Okay, so growing up, right? So the message was, go to university, get your degree, and then you'll succeed in life, or you can buy whatever you want. Okay. So looking at successful people, you'd see that they are like business people or entrepreneurial people. So yeah, so I've tried that during while working in different companies, right? So I did like I bought clothes. Uh, I bought clothes in like the cheaper part of Manila or the nearby provinces, and then sold them to office mates. I
Yeah,
love that experience,
yeah.
and I actually share that to a lot of my friends.
Best practice sharing.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's really good.
You just
That's really good.
share what you know and let
Yeah,
them use it for their own good.
a lot of people, get scared to share knowledge, because,
Mm,
oh my God, if I let them know this, they're going to do better than
yeah,
me. Um, they don't understand that the pie of success, right? If, you can't, nobody can have the entire pie, right?
true.
But the more you share, the pie just gets bigger
Hmm.
because your knowledge is traveling to 10 people. Those 10 people will tell 10 more people, and so on and so forth. So the umbrella just keeps getting bigger, the pie keeps getting bigger. But a lot of times people don't want to see that, or they don't get it. And because of them being selfish, so yeah, I think that's also one learning, that if something works for you, and if you feel that it can help somebody else, um you know just share.
Yeah, and that's actually a good point. But going back again to the community culture, right? So we have a saying there. I'll say it in our vernacular. Adim bubukudan nan gawis. Okay. So what does that mean? It means do not be selfish especially in the good things, right? So being growing up with that kind of mentality, it really has helped in like being just sharing.
Let's talk about your switch from being an accountant or accounts to
Mhm.
financial advising. It's not very common that people kind of switch their professions, especially when they're reaching the peak of it.
Mhm.
And a lot of people want to, Kim, just by the way,
True.
like a lot of people, especially late 20s, early 30s, they think, oh my God, is this really what I want to do? Because I'm not really happy.
Mhm.
But it's too late to switch, because I've done 10 plus years. And you start doubting, you get scared, you're like, you know what, just shut up and let's just continue doing this,
True.
right? So what made you make that decision? How did you do it, and why did you do it? I think those are the two questions that I have.
I had this office mate. Her husband actually went to a career preview for a life insurance company. And when I heard that, I said, okay, I want in. Okay, because I was really curious. I was also curious. The message was really powerful for me. One thing that struck me why I really had to do it, because growing up, money was not really a topic.
Mm.
When during family dinner, reunion, like it's kind of a taboo. I'm not sure if you also feel that way when you meet with your family, but that's how it was for me, right? And also with the topic of death and illnesses, like it's kind of, yeah, again, it's another taboo. Like you can't really like talk about death because it might, you might be attracting it. You can't
Mm.
really talk about illness because you might be attracting it, things like those. But we really have to be um, we also have to be pragmatic. We have to be practical. We have to know that there are really reality bites.
Yeah.
There are really real life risks that we need to talk about. So yeah. So um, those things really enlightened me. That's why when I was done with the career preview, I was like, yeah, I really have to do this.
Hmm. So I'll just dig in deeper, right? So you obviously talked about it being how it affected you personally growing up, and not to take away anything from the cultures and how people thought about certain things and the taboos. But when I spoke to you earlier, you also said that it's probably something that you as an individual can also help share the message that you learned, something that enlightened you so much, is something that you can take back to the larger community, right?
Yeah. So again, I am in the life insurance industry, right? So given that there a lot of people are really afraid to talk with the life insurance industry, right? I'm
Yeah,
sure if you agree.
yeah,
I'm,
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
sure if you
absolutely.
I'm not sure if you've had your own experience, but yeah. So being in the industry, I did feel that there is a stigma when it comes with insurance and financial advisors. But that's where you really come in, or that's where we come in. Like, you really have to change your heart. Like, it should really be a service oriented um endeavor. Like, really need to, like, really change your message into because it's not really like selling, right? You're sharing the value of it.
Yeah,
And I'm loving every minute of it.
that's awesome. So for anybody to kind of make a change like that, I think you would have also felt scared, right? When you first did it, oh my god, am I doing the right thing? What if I regret, right? I mean, all of those things would
True.
come to your mind, but you just made that plunge, right? You just woke up one fine day and said, you know what, let's just do it.
Yeah, let's just do it.
And sometimes in life, you just have to make those decisions, right? So even if it was a mistake, it's okay, it's not the end of
Yeah.
the world, right?
Yeah. That's what people say. You either win or you learn.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So you've mentioned, like, thinking about, is it a mistake? Will I regret it? A lot of times also, right? We kind of put too much thinking on what other people think about it, because you can't really, like, rely on their opinions. You have to be accountable
Yeah,
in your decision, in your actions, in your choices.
yeah. Kim, I always tell this, and it's probably a repeat, but don't let others' opinions define who you are, right? So the next question, and I know it's pretty late for you in the night, so I won't keep you up too long. Uh,
No worries. I love it. I love this. I love your show, Candy.
ah, Thank you. The next question really is I also know that your parents moved to the US some time ago, and I think you also had a chance to do that because your folks are there. But you told me that you decided to stay back in the Philippines, and I thought that was a very different choice because normally, Kim, I'm sure it is in the Philippines as well. But in a country like ours where there's an opportunity to go to, a land like the United States or even Europe, maybe, people grab those opportunities, right? They really want to
True.
go there and live a better life, which is all great. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But then you made a very conscious choice to stay back in the Philippines. So if you could tell us why.
Yeah. So again, going back to, like, knowing what you want. So a lot of people, like, uh, want to go abroad because that's where they think the greener pastures are, and that's totally fine.
Mhm.
Because that's what they want. So that's good for them because they know what they want. Yeah. So my folks are there in the U.S. Hello, mom and dad. I hope you get to watch this. So for me, I know what they want. So it's not to, like, go somewhere else, but to stay here in the Philippines because I know there is an opportunity for me to, like, really grow here and to be of service to my Filipino people, right? And also um, to my ignorant people,
Mm.
because moving towards a different industry where like pushing financial freedom, financial independence. I think it's about time to teach our people to to be them, to be those, to be independent financially, to be free financially, because it's really difficult to be poor. No one deserves to be poor, and it is about time to teach people to not be poor. You know, to be more happy. Uh, money is not everything in the world, but it can afford you a lot of things. It can give your family a good vacation, the vacation that you dream of. It can give your children the education that can really change the world for them, right? It can give you a more fulfilling retirement. Whatever it is. Well, money is really a big factor.
Mhm. So, in short, you really, I think, also want to break that taboo when you were a little boy and money was not talked about, or death was not talked about. Letting your people know that it's not so bad to talk about it, to plan about it, to talk about the risks, and how is it that you can save yourself from a lot of trouble, financial trouble. So I think that's a beautiful message that you have right there, Kim. And I'm really proud of the choices that you're making, and these aren't easy choices. I think the easier choice would have been to look for those greener pastures and lived a life that you want, because we all think that we deserve the best, and we just want those vacation for ourselves, and we want that education for our own kids, and who cares about the rest of the world. But you kind of thinking about that service to your own community so that they too can understand, and really empower them to help themselves, like you said, right? Then they should be in a position to really uplift themselves and help themselves
True.
and make those choices and decisions which are smarter, without thinking that they're being crooked, and just breaking that whole stigma, right, of
Yeah.
insurance agents coming to you to ask for money or crook
True. And
you.
take your money. Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
You,
really
you perfectly summarized that, Candy.
that's
Love it.
because I'm your trainer. What message do you have for people who kind of want to switch their careers in the middle of it, maybe after 10 years, 5 years, 15 years, whatever, right?
There are also other opportunities wherein like you don't really need to like leave or yeah, leave what you're currently doing. Try it out, your current profession, your current job, that will feed your, or that will pay for your bills, right? And then go for your dreams, go for your passion. That will feed your dreams, that will feed your bigger goals, right? So yeah, you can do that too. No, there
Like a,
are
like
there
a side
yeah,
hustle.
yeah, like side hustle. A lot of people, like for me, okay, I was doing my financial advisory as a side hustle.
Mm.
So I was trying it out, right? So you can do that. Try something else, test the waters. So that's what I did. I was trying it out, and then I did that for 1 year and 1 month before transitioning to a full-time advisor. Yeah.
I think that's a great advice. Testing the waters,
Mhm.
and really thinking about. I mean, that will make you decide if that's really something that feeds your
Yeah.
soul, as you said, right? And then it'll be much easier to make that switch. So I think you did a very smart move you made right there. And thank you for giving us that tip. You are my first Filipino guest. I hope I have many, many more. Yeah, and
I'm super thankful for being the first. Filipino guest in your channel, Candy. Yeah, I love it. I love what you do. Love your energy. Uh, you know, and I do hope we can meet again soon.
Okay, with that, thank you so much for your time. Kim, you have a wonderful week and good night. Bye.
Thank you too. Thank you, Candy.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed Kim's story, there are many other stories that are inspiring, that are daring, that are beautiful. Please check out these videos and give me a huge thumbs up. And please consider subscribing. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. God bless.